Dr.Gindi Science Academy. The session is 1.1 of our UPSC syllabus. 1.1 of your UPSC syllabus. See the syllabus books, right? What is the syllabus? You know very well, as I explained. Anthropology, like the other optional subject, it consists of 2 papers. In all the optional subjects, there are 2 papers, UPSC syllabus at the mains. Paper 1 and paper 2. Paper 1 and paper 2. So, like other optionals, anthropology is also consists of 2 papers. One is paper 1, another one is paper 2. So, for the convenience of the study, for the students, I have divided the entire portion of paper 1 into 6 modules. In the same way, I have divided the portion of the entire portion of paper 2 into 6 modules. Of course, not in your UPSC syllabus. As per the UPSC syllabus, there are only 2 papers. One is paper 1, another one is paper 2. But we have to, the student should feel comfortably. So, for the comfortableness of the students, for the convenience of the students, I have divided the entire portion into 6 parts. These parts are called as modules. 6 modules are in paper 1 and 6 modules are in paper 2. Okay. So, what is the syllabus? First module is Introduction to Anthropology and the Evolution of Man. Introduction to Anthropology and the Evolution of Man. So, in this session, of course, after starting of the session, I give the introduction to anthropology, what is anthropology, and evolution of man. So, like this, so I give the evolution of man. Then, general prehistory and Indian prehistory. So, both this paper 1 and paper 2 are different, but still they are related with each other. Here, we are going to study about the prehistory. Of course, I explain history, what is meant by history, what is meant prehistory, everything I will explain. Just I am giving the introduction only about the syllabus. So, I have mixed both paper 1 and paper 2 under one umbrella only. In paper 1, we are going to read about prehistory, general principles, what are the methods, what are the techniques used in prehistory. Whereas, in the case of paper 2, it relates to Indian. So, of course, if you study the term in Indian prehistory, ultimately you can write paper 1 also. So, paper 1 and paper 2 of anthropology syllabus are under prehistory, under one umbrella, one term, that is one module. Then regarding the third module, socio-cultural anthropology. Socio-cultural anthropology. So, here anthropology, it can be divided into 2 parts. One is social aspects of anthro means humans, we the people. So, what are the social aspects of humans and what are the cultural aspects? So, both these are combined as socio-cultural anthropology. I am going to discuss about in detail in the class. Then, anthropology theories. So, what are the theories? Various theories. So, we discuss 100% we can get one question from this. Each and every module we can expect one question, minimum guarantee. Then, physical anthropology. So, the topics related to our structure, our anatomy, everything relates to our human beings. Physically, it is called as physical anthropology. The topics related to physical anthropology are included under 5th module of the paper 1. Then, application of anthropology. Actually, today I thought of starting out this topic, very interesting topic. Forensic anthropology. Probably you might have seen the YouTubes also. So, what are how to identify unidentified persons during accidents or some other tsunamis like that. So, here the role of anthropologist is with that, we cannot say also. So, that type of importance they have. So, all these topics, very interesting topics. Forensic anthropology, how to reconstruct the human remains at tsunamis or earthquakes, natural calamities. So, like this very interesting topics are there. So, all these are called as application of anthropology. Application of anthropology means, yes, you can apply your knowledge of anthropology in defense, you can apply your knowledge of anthropology in nutrition, you can apply your knowledge of anthropology in sports, where not? Everywhere you can apply because it relates to humans. So, all these fields are related to humans. So, that's why anthropology means it relates to humans. So, wherever you go, Wherever there are humans, you can apply your knowledge. So that is called as application of anthropology for the development and welfare of the human society. For the development and welfare of society is called as anthropology application. So application of anthropology. So these are the 6 modules we are going to discuss under paper 1. Then regarding to paper 2, it consists of evolution of man in India, Indian social system, development of anthropology in India, Indian village study, tribal India, Indian social issues and anthropology on these issues like this. So in total we are going to discuss about human alone only, that is anthropology. Right, next slide. Right, so today's topic is the first module, as you know, as we discussed, introduction to anthropology. Under introduction to anthropology, there are 3 minor topics I have divided. As per UPSC syllabus, they have mentioned that meaning, scope and development of anthropology. The title is, as per UPSC syllabus, meaning, scope and development of anthropology. For the comfortable and the understanding of the students, I have divided each and every term under subheadings. First one meaning, second one scope, third one development. So 3 items are there. In the UPSC syllabus they have not divided, but I have subdivided for the comfortableness of the student, for easily understood. One is meaning. So before going to give the meaning, first of all we have to give the introduction. Already I have given introduction. Of course, it is the courtesy to give once again as part of your syllabus. Just I would like to give some introduction about this topic, about the anthropology. Anthropology may be considered as a recipe of arts and science in equal proportion. Already I have given that word recipe. Vanta Telugulo cheppalante vanta. అది ఎలా ఉందంటే ఇట్ ఈస్ మిక్సర్ ఆఫ్ బోత్ ఆర్ట్స్ అండ్ సైన్స్ ఇన్ ఈక్వల్ ప్రపోర్షన్. వంట తింటుంటావు, సార్ ఉప్పు ఎక్కువైపోయింది సార్, కారం ఎక్కువైంది సార్ అంటావు, కొంచెం 2 కలిస్తే బాగుంటుంది. సో ఇట్ ఈస్ ఈక్వల్ ప్రపోర్షన్ బోత్ ఆర్ట్స్ అండ్ సైన్స్. సో ఇప్పుడు చూసారు, మనం డిస్కస్ చేసాం, ఆల్రెడీ వీ హ్యాడ్ డిస్కస్డ్. సో anthropology, it is nothing but it can be comparable as a recipe of arts and science in equal proportion. So arts content are there, science content are there. Science means, what is meant by science? Could you give the definition? What is meant by science? Already we have studied sir, we have received the degree sir. What is meant by science? Systematized knowledge. Systematized knowledge, in Telugu it is called as క్రమబద్ధీకరించబడిన విజ్ఞానము. Wherever you go, the definition is same. Wherever you go, the conditions are there. Yes, system is there. That systematized knowledge is called as science. But what is meant by arts? Creativeness. Creativeness. Individual to individual, it changes. Anyway, you have received arts degrees and science degrees, but without knowing the definition and concept. So here, anthropology is considered as a recipe of arts and science in equal proportion. So both these are mixed. So some creativeness is there and system and knowledge is there. It is anthropology. Then it is an adolescent branch of science. It is not that infant. It is not that adult. It is the adolescent stage. So slowly it become a branch of science, adolescent branch of science. That means systematic knowledge. So knowledge have been systematically arranged. That's why bulk of science community is not properly familiar with this. So it is adolescent branch. So most of the people, even that most of the, of course nowadays everybody knows. So bulk of science community is not properly familiar with this, as it is adolescent branch. Then at present, anthropology is the only branch of science which deals with man and his work, including his physical, cultural and social activities as a whole. So it is the only subject, only branch. Take for example, if you see the political science, Indian polity or that world polity, what are you going to study? Politics of only politics. Economy, economic angle. Medicine, only medical angle. So in every science, actually you are going to deal with only single aspect. Only branch which deals with the man, that too in microbiology, They're dealing with some microorganisms. In botany, you're dealing with plants. Zoology, animals. It is the only subject, branch of science, which deals with the man and his work. So it is the only subject. That's why here we are going to discuss about physical aspects, cultural aspects, social activities as a whole. That's why well-defined branch of science which deals with the life of man in all aspects from the time of his dawn till now. Where started anthropology? Where we have to start it? We are going to discuss about, we have relations with the creatures, with the animal kingdom. We establish our relations. We know about our father, our grandfather, our great-grandfather. We don't know. About that? Before that? Before that? Even before that? Yes, we establish the relations like this. So with our companions, chimpanzee, gorilla, gibbon, monkeys, then other animals, then other creatures, then including the protozoans also, we are going to discuss. Yes, so like this we establish. Then from the dawn, humans have been emerged as humans. Rest of the animal kingdom has been separated around 3.3 million years back. Around 3.3 million years back. Million is equal to 10 lakhs. So 33 lakhs of years back, from the rest of the animal kingdom, humans have been separated. Yes, that was the dawn. That was the time of origin. From that time to till now, we are going to discover in anthropology. So then anthropology. What is meaning by anthropology? Anthropology known as science of man and his work and behavior. Already we have discussed. Anthropology means science. Science means, you know very well the definition for science. Science means systematized knowledge. Systematized knowledge of man and his work. So what is the work? Previously done and present we are doing and going to be do. So past, present and future. So science of man in the past, present and future, and his behavior also. Because we have the behavior, we are the social animal, we have some special behavior when compared with our other creatures. So we are going to discuss about all these things. Science of man, his work and behavior, and how it has been originated. In Greek words, anthropos means man, logos means science. So science of man is called as anthropology. There are two terms are here. Anthropology. Anthrop means humans. Logos means science. So anthropology means science of humans. So we are studying about ourselves. In zoology, you are going to study about animals only. In botany, you study about plants. Like this, in other subjects, we are studying about other creatures. It is the only subject in the world which studies about human alone. Human alone. మన గురించి చదివే శాస్త్రం ఏదన్నా ఉంటే, yes, that is anthropology. In Telugu, మానవ శాస్త్రము. So it is a subject. Then other branches of science concerned with the related single aspect of study. If you take for example hematology, microbiology, sociology, psychology, psychiatry, etc. But anthropology deals with multiple aspects of human and human behavior. Because you know very well, hematology, microbiology, sociology, psychology, psychiatry. Only single aspect we are studying. Hematology means we are studying about only the blood, everything. But whereas in the case of sociology, you are studying about society. You are studying psychology, yes, behavioral patterns. Like this, only single aspect is there. But in anthropology, multiple dimensions are there. Multiple dimensions. So that it is also another aspect. Then anthropology never concerned with particular person. Whereas in some subjects, they directly deal with who is Yaswant, who is Yadagiri, who is Manoj, who is Lahari, who is Navya, like this, John. But here we are not going to focus on any individual. We are focusing on groups. Our intention is to study the groups. We are considering as a group, not individually we are focusing. It is also one of the factors we have to keep in our mind while studying anthropology. These are the basic factors. If you want to go into details of anthropology, fundamentals you require. That's why we are going to discuss about the fundamentals. Then, so anthropology may be defined briefly as science of group of man, not group of individuals. It is a science of group of men. So here our concern is not the individuals, our concern is only the groups. Whereas in other subjects, we are going to deal about the individual. Here individual behavior is not important here. Yes, as a whole. So it is a science of human and human behavior as a whole. Then anthropology concentrate on a community consist of different races, people with tracking their former and current lives. Former means previously, past. Current means at present. So we are tracking the race, their former and current lives. What happened in the past? What is going on in the present? Like this, anthropologists consider a community, not an individual, as a whole is going to study. So community consists of different races or people. You know very well, we are going to discuss different races are there. Caucasides, Mongolites, Negrites and different subraces also we are going to discuss. There is a separate chapter, just I am going to give introduction only in this class. So here former and current lives also, past and present also we are going to discuss. In one word, it is a total study of man. Anthropology means holistic subject, total subject. In total we are going to study about man. Past we are going to discuss, present we are studying, and future also what will happen to human beings. So past, present, future as a whole, not in a single dimension, multi-dimensional, everything we can study, everything, what not. If it is related to human, then we can study, we enter as an anthropologist. So it is the total subjects. In the interview also they may question, define anthropology. Define anthropology. Anthropology means not the previous definition, that was previous definition for study of man, refined scientific study of man, further refined holistic scientific study of human beings. Note down, holistic scientific study of human beings. What is the scientific definition now? Holistic in total, every aspect we study. Holistic, scientific, it is systematic knowledge. It is a systematic knowledge. Holistic scientific study of, about whom? About ourselves, humans. So holistic scientific study of humans is called as anthropology. That is the apt answer. That is the apt answer. Correct answer ivalante, that is the only solution. It is a holistic scientific, the scientific means systematic knowledge. Systematic knowledge means if you say same thing will be happen another place also. So systematically one can understand. So the logical arrangement of the knowledge what you have acquired, that is called as science. So it is the science, and holistically in total we are going to study. So holistic scientific study of humans is called as anthropology. Then anthropology is a fusion of social and biological sciences. As I already explained, social, it is a recipe of both the science and arts. So here we are discussing fusion. Fusion means mixture, social and biological sciences. So social sciences and biological sciences both will be mixture, fusion. See here. Then it is not only deals with human as a member of animal kingdom, but also concerned with man's behavior as a member of society. There are two membership. You know, sir, I have Indian citizenship, same time I have Canadian membership, sir, or American membership. Yes, as the member of humans, we have two memberships. One membership is, yes, that is member of animal kingdom. Are you not an animal? Are you a plant? No. We have the same common characteristics with our sharing, we are sharing the characteristics of with the animals. So we have the membership. We have Red Cross membership, Lions Club membership, international membership, American membership, citizenship. Like this, we have membership of animal. So we have the membership of animal kingdom. We have the membership of animal kingdom. That is one membership. But we have one special character. That is, we have some social behavior. We are living in a society. We have some social behavior and we are living in a society. That another membership is there. That membership is member of a society. Member of a society. So humans have two types of membership. One is member of animal kingdom. Another one is member of society. So we have to study. So what is characteristics of animal kingdom? So how we have been related with the other animals, we have to study. In the same way, we have some special behavior when compared with the other animals, other creatures, that is the social behavior. We have the society, we alone have the society. Yes, we have to study about the society also. So two types of membership we are going to discuss in detail. Then, growth of civilization and structural evolution of mankind, both are studied from the dawn to the present. Dawn, yes. When the starting point, from the starting point till now, present, we are going to study about growth of civilization. What is that meant by culture? What is society? What is civilization? Everything. So we study. So from the growth of civilization we study. Then structural evolution of mankind. There are two types of evolution are there. One cultural evolution, second one biological evolution. What is meant by evolution? What is meant by evolution? In simple terms, you can say. Freely, we use the term evolution and revolution. If you know the meaning of revolution, it is sudden change. The opposite term is evolution, slow change, gradual change. Loosely, freely, we use it to use two terms. One term usually freely everybody uses. One is revolution. Revolution. What is meant by revolution? Sudden change. The opposite term for revolution is called as evolution. Opposite to revolution is called as evolution. Revolution means sudden change. Evolution is slow change, gradual change, technically. So we study evolution of mankind, structural evolution. Yes, in our body also, slow changes happened. So what were the changes? What were the changes happened during the course of evolution? During the course of evolution, slowly, yes, previously because I already told you, I will explain you, we have membership with the animal kingdom. That means we share the characteristics with the animals. Rest of our creatures, they are our fellow members, like our family. We have established the relationship with the animals. But how the man has been emerged as man, human being, slow changes happened. So during the course of evolution, million years of back, so what happened? Slowly in each and every part of our body, so changes happened. These changes as slowly developed, these changes are called as evolution. Evolution means, you know very well, gradual changes, slow changes. It's not suddenly appeared. Very slowly, the changes of our foot, the changes of our limbs, the changes of our hand, the changes of our trunk, the changes of our vertebrae, the changes of our neck, the changes of head, everything changed. From head to foot or foot to head, everything changed. We are going to discuss about all those things. So here structural evolution means, you know very well now. So what were the changes happened in our body during the course of evolution? During the course of evolution, these are called as structural evolution. Then growth of civilization is cultural evolution. If you see at the photograph of your father, just you compare the dress pattern of yourselves and your parents and your grandparents, your dress style, your attire, your dress changed, your beard, of course, everything slowly repeating. Your dress pattern changed, everything changed. Yes, this means a cultural evolution. So there are two types of evolution are there. One is biological evolution, another one is cultural evolution. So biologically means in our body different changes happened. In our body different changes happened during the course of evolution. During the course of time, so many changes happened in our body. This is called as biological evolution. That is called as biological evolution. Is also called as structural evolution. In structure, so many changes happened during the course of time. During the course of evolution, from the dawn to the till now, from the origin of human beings, at the point where the humans have been separated from the animal kingdom till now, so many changes, as I explained in brief. These changes are called as structural evolution, in other terms biological evolution, also called as physical evolution. Physical evolution, biological evolution, structural evolution, all these are synonyms. Same meaning, they carry the same meaning. So this is called as one type of evolution. Another type of evolution is called as cultural evolution. Cultural evolution. As I explained, we have two types of membership. One membership I explained. What is that membership? Membership in the animal kingdom. So from the rest of the animal kingdom, we have been separated. That is called as structural evolution or physical evolution or biological evolution. But another membership is also there. What is that membership? Membership in the society. Membership in the society. So as part of the society changes. At your childhood, the characteristic of society was different. At present, different. In future, we cannot say. So everything is going on. Everything changes. So these are called as growth of civilization, means cultural evolution. Culture also evolving. Evolving means slowly it is getting different changes. So both these things, they go hand in hand. Cultural evolution, it reflects on biological evolution. Biological evolution led to the cultural evolution. We are going to discuss in detail as part of our study. Then, so already I explained, I have given the introduction as part of your UPS syllabus 1.1. Second, I have given the meaning of anthropology, then scope of anthropology. What is meant by scope? Then we can discuss the scope of anthropology. What is meant by scope? The limit. So how it can be extended? So what is the jurisdiction in your terminology? What is the jurisdiction? So whatever the area it can enter, yes, it can enter. That we are going to discuss. So what is the scope of anthropology? What is the boundaries of anthropology? Where we can do your research? Where we can do study? So these are the things under scope of anthropology. Second heading, scope of anthropology under UPSC syllabus 1.1. So meaning already completed. Then scope of anthropology. Anthropology has four main branches. First of all, we should know the boundaries. If you want to play a game, there should be some boundaries. Cricket or volleyball, whatever it may be. Even for the subjects also, there should be some boundaries. Am I right? Yes. So what are the boundaries? So there should be some confinement, or we can do research or study. So there should be some boundaries. What are the branches? So for the convenience of our study, anthropology can be divided into four main branches. For the convenience of study, anthropology has been divided into four main branches. So that is in our 1.3 of our UPSC syllabus. First syllabus 1.1 is meaning, scope and development of anthropology as per UPSC syllabus. Second topic is anthropology in relation to other sciences. They have given the list, we are going to discuss. Third one is anthropology and the main branches of anthropology. So here there is some mixture, 1.1 and 1.3. 1 point is meaning and development, meaning, scope and development of anthropology. 1.3 is main branches of anthropology. Here we are going to discuss about the main branches of anthropology, means 1.3. 1.3 also we are going to discuss here. Of course, in detail we will discuss in under 1.3. So what are the main branches? Socio-cultural anthropology. Socio-cultural anthropology. If you study about marriage, so what are the various types of marriages? What is that, the basic reason for giving dowry or getting dowry? I am not supporting here. We are going to discuss it. So what are the various types of cultures are there? Not only marriage. After marriage, what will happen? Definitely you will have a family. You will have a family, definitely. So what are the various types of families are there? Nuclear family or joint family. Is there any types of families are there in joint family? So what are the various categories of families? Marriage also different marriages are there. One man, one woman, or one man, many women, or one woman or many women. So different things in different societies we are going to discuss. So all these things, everything, because it is the globally. Primitive society, different marriages are there. In advanced society, various marriages are there. Religion to religion, place to place, it varies. So all these things we study. So under marriage. So marriage, family, kinship. After marriage, what happens? Definitely you have some kinship. So previously, because there are two types of kinships are there. Kinship means relatives. Kinship, KNSHM, kinship. There are two types of kins are there. Relatives are there. One is by birth. You have your mother, you have your father. Suppose if you have siblings, brother, sister, like that. And paternal uncle, maternal uncle, maternal auntie, paternal auntie, we are going. These are the consanguineous. By birth itself, you are going to get the relatives. But some relatives, after getting marriage, you are going to get a spouse. Maybe woman or man, in the form of wife or husband. You are going to some tight relationship. That is called as affinal. So manam consanguineous and affinal relationships we are going to discuss. So not only marriage, not only family, not only kinship, different types of social institutions are there, caste is there, religion is there. So all these are influence the humans. So we have to discuss. So all these things comes under socio-cultural anthropology. Of course, already it is under 1.3 of your UP syllabus. Already I explained. Then biological anthropology. So as I already explained, biologically, physically, so what are the various things in our body? So what are the physiological functions? So what are the anatomy? Everything we study. So this comes under biological anthropology. Then archaeological anthropology. We study about the past. In past what happened? As already explained. So up to the time in I.A.S, Indus Valley Civilization only studied. Previously what happened? How the our ancestors they lived? What were the anatomy? What were the living conditions? What were the environmental conditions? So everything we should know. So this comes under archaeological anthropology. It is also called as prehistoric archaeology. It is also called as archaeological anthropology. In some universities they call it as prehistoric archaeology. Or archaeological anthropology. Last one, linguistic anthropology. Languages. How the languages originated, how they have been developing, and what is the relationship with one language to another. So everything we discuss under 1.3 of our UPSC syllabus. I explain in detail. So these are the four main branches. So apart from these four main branches, various sub branches are there. In UPSC, oftenly you may get one short notes also under this one or this one. Under main branches or sub branches, you will get one 10 marks question. So main branches you have to study. You have to prepare your notes. I will give you the notes also. So socio-cultural anthropology they may give. So biological anthropology, or it is also called as, what is the another name?
Physical structure.
Physical anthropology or biological anthropology, they are the synonyms, same meaning, they carry same meaning. So social anthropology or cultural anthropology or socio-cultural anthropology, first branch. Second one is physical anthropology or biological anthropology, both are same. Third one is archaeological anthropology or prehistoric archaeology. And last one, linguistic anthropology. These are the core branches. These are the main branches under anthropology that is included 1.3 of your UPSC syllabus. I have already given 1.3. Under 1.3, we study in detail. Of course, I give the notes also about this one. So you may get one question frequently. So they define socio-cultural anthropology. Sometimes they ask socio-cultural anthropology, like that they give. Then what are the various sub-branches? So we should be aware of the sub-branches also. Sub-branches: human biology, human evolution, human variation, human genetics, pedagogical anthropology, prehistoric anthropology, paleontology, ethnology, ethnography, economic anthropology, social anthropology, ethno-linguistics, urban anthropology, political anthropology, anthropometry, action anthropology, like this. If these are the four main branches: physical anthropology, prehistoric archaeology, socio-cultural anthropology, and linguistic anthropology, these are the four main branches. So these are the sub-branches of these main branches. Just a paragraph like that. So 4 or 5 lines just to read about these sub-branches, that is enough.
Sub-branches of these branches or
Yeah.
sub-branches
So
of
like this. So various sub-branches are there. Then development of anthropology. If you see your syllabus 1.1, meaning we have completed. Scope of anthropology we have completed. Scope means area. So where we can study, what are the items we are going to study, what are the areas anthropologists can do research, we have discussed. That is the scope of anthropology. Limitations, boundaries. Then development of anthropology. So now we know the meaning of anthropology, but how this anthropology has developed in the world, especially in our country, that is very important thing. Not only as part of anthropology, as the aspirant of UPSC, you should know, because you are going to administer the people only, not the animals. Am I right? After becoming an I.A.S. or I.P.S. or whatever it may be the rank we are going to give and whatever the designation you will have, you are going to administer the people only. You are going to administer the humans only, not the animals. So first of all, you should know, because anthropology means study of scientific study, holistic scientific study of humans. How this subject has been developed. At least you should know about the development of anthropology, because you are supposed to know about entire in the world, but confined to India as a UPSC aspirant, you should know about the how this subject has been introduced, how this subject has been developed in various universities in the country. So now we are going to discuss about the development of anthropology. Sometimes they may give a question also. How the development of anthropology, how the anthropology, department of anthropology has been developed in our country, in India, like this you may get a question. So we are going to discuss a few points for the convenience of the students. Everything I have briefed, but still it seems to be lengthy, but we can brief in the examination. I will explain how to brief the matter. Anthropology in India was introduced by whom? Anthropologists from England, not by the people of India. Anthropology in India has been introduced by anthropologists from England. I will explain. American anthropologist and English anthropologist are there. Two schools are there, two different ideologies. So here, as we were in the colonial administration, you know about history. We were in the colonial administration. We were in the crown rule. We were in the British rule. At the time, anthropologists from England, they came to India and collected data on Indian population for the convenience of their administration. Already explained. If you chosen any other subject as the time in option also, you are forced to study about anthropes at the training center of Mussoorie. Why? Because you are going to rule the people only, not the others, not the animals, not the plants. So in the same way, in the colonial administration, in the British administration, anthropologists from England, they came to India to collect the data. They collected the data on Indian populations. They were very interesting at the time. Nowadays also very interesting people. Of course, we are going to zoo, but actually with enthusiastic, different cultures are there. They seem to be very interesting for the people. So for the interest in the enthusiastic condition, and also for that administrative controls also, they came to India and they collected the data on Indian population and prepared monographs on them. What is meant by monograph? If your study is confined to a single aspect, it is called as a monograph. Graph means study. Mono means single. Monograph means single aspect you are studying. Suppose, take for example, I belongs to some community. Suppose I study about my community and my community aspects and I give everything about that community. So what is the population, what is that economy, what is the political, what is that everything. Suppose if I publish a book, it is called as a monograph on such community to whom I belong. Other, even if you not belong to that community, also you can give a monograph. Mono means single, graph means study. If your study is confined to a single aspect, it is called as monograph. Like this, the anthropologists that came from England, they came to our India. First, for the interest, they have collected data on Indian population and they prepared some monographs, some mundas, like the different types are there in India. So they studied, they conducted surveys, they collected the data and they have published some books. Those books were called as monographs. Like this, the Indian anthropology started. Then after what? It was during the second half of the 19th century when a number of monographs on tribal and other communities were written by the British administrator and anthropologist. So that was the beginning. That was the beginning development of anthropology in India. For the first time, for the interest of to collect the data, as the people at that tribal people, the communities at that living at that colonial administration, they were very interesting, and of course, intricacies also were for the people who ruled our country. So to collect the data only, they started to publish the monographs. Monographs means they published some books. They published some books by surveying, by collected the information. So after that, during the second half of the 19th century, so like this, number of monographs, number of ethnographies. Ethnography is scientific study of that different cultural aspects, everything. So on tribal and other communities. So slowly anthropology started in India with the studying of tribal, then other communities. Written by British administrator, not by our people. British administrator, then anthropologist. Like this, anthropology in India started. Then a small number of Indian anthropologists who were being trained by the Britishers to assist them in their anthropology work began to appear on the scene. Then they required the people to assist Britishers because they cannot directly, they can go and contact the people of the tribal people who are living in the nook and corners of our country. Still we cannot go for some areas. At that time, it was a difficult task for the administrators. So at that time, the British administrator come anthropologist. Anthropology is scientific. They are doing study of humans only. So almost previously, if you see the history, so almost the anthropologists were the administrators only, British administrators. So slowly they have been converted into anthropologist. So after collecting the data, after publishing the data on tribal and other communities, then they need some people, local people, they were the Indians, to conduct the study for effectively and easily. So that's why they trained some local people of Indians to assist them. So like this, number of Indian anthropologists, they have been local people assistants, then they have been converted as Indian anthropologists. They began to appear on the scene. Like this, Indian anthropologists started on the scene of Indian anthropology. Then what happened? By the beginning of the 20th century, departments of anthropology were set up in various universities, which then produced a large number of students. Then after that, when Indian anthropology started, ultimately what happened? They introduced the course in the universities. We are going to discuss about all the stages. So when they started the departments in the universities, automatically what happens? Ultimately the students are there. If the students are there, professors are there. Professors are there. In between the professors and the student, researchers are there. If the research, what they will do? Research on humans. So like this, slowly the development of anthropology is started in India. Then, since then, anthropology as an integrated science of man made a headway, and today there are over 30 departments of anthropology across the country. So like that, nowadays, if you see in Indian anthropology, in 30 universities, anthropology, department of anthropology, we can see. Then, anthropologists like Rivers, Hutton, Radcliffe Brown and Seligman, who came to India, influenced people like Paul Olaf Boarding, Hoffman, Emelin to work on Indian communities. At that time, their concentration was other communities. So these people, Rivers, Hutton and Radcliffe Brown, Seligman, they influenced this Boarding Hoffman, Emmelman. So they asked, so they influenced, so just to conduct the research on the Indian communities like that, these people have been influenced by these people. Then these people ultimately in turn influence others who are Indian origin to work in anthropology. So some people, they influenced these people they trained some local Indians, they influenced. Like this, the development of anthropology started in India. Next, such Indian anthropologists who wrote of the cultures that they knew best, and among them they had grown up, because we know very well about cultures, because we are living among us. We know from the time of the time in dawn to the death, actually we know about our cultures. So interestingly, we try to give the term monographs, thus some kind of autoethnography. Ethnography means description of some cultures and everything. Autoethnography says we are describing about ourselves, not about others. We are describing ourselves. Like this, Indian anthropology already being participated in India by Indian anthropologists long before it give a major issue in Western anthropology. In fact, we have been studying about cultures since the childhood, because we know very well than others about our society. Am I right? Because your parents know about you. You know about your parents than your relatives. In the same way, than the foreigners, than the Americans, than the Britishers, we know very well about our society, like other people. Firstly, influenced by Britishers for the colonial administration to help the people. Then, with their interest, they started to train the local people. Then we realized, hey, this is very interesting. We are going to describe our only. This is called as autoethnography. Ethnography means description of our races, cultures, everything. So auto means self. We are describing ourselves, our society, our culture, like this started. Right. Then, as part of development anthropology, here we can see some points. The growth of Indian anthropology has been divided into different periods. For the convenience of study, as part of not only for the UPSC preparation, as part of that anthropology, we have to divide. So how this department of anthropology or the subject of anthropology has been divided in India? Yes, different classification have been given by different anthropologists. So we have divided the entire growth of anthropology into some periods. Like this, S.C. Rai, S.C. Dubey, N.K. Bose, Majumdar, Vidyarthi, these are all people, famous anthropologists. S.C. Roy, Sharachandra Roy, Dubey, S.C. Dubey, N.K. Bose, Majumdar, Vidyarthi. So all these people are very famous anthropologists. In the examination also, sometimes you may get one short notes on S.C. Roy, just to give short notes, under short notes. I have explained the question pattern also, previously I explained. Once again for the first batch, for the new batch I explained. S.C. Roy also, sometimes you may get a question. Then you should be very thorough with about some brief biography of S.C. Roy. So, who is S.C. Rai? So, about the contributions for the anthropology, like that, you should prepare the notes. Definitely you can write. So, these are the short note questions. So, S.C. Rai, S.C. Dubey, Bose, Majumdar and Vidyarthi. So, name number one, just spell out. S.C. Rai. S.C. Rai, Sharachandra Rai. Number one, S.C. Rai. Number two, S.C. Dubey. Number two, S.C. Dubey. Number three, Bose. Third one, Majumdar. Last one, of course, he is not last. In our classroom, I have given the information like this. So, all these people, they have divided the development of anthropology they have given different classifications. Take for example, according to S.C. Rai, the growth of anthropology in India can be classified in terms of source of publications such as magazines, handbooks and monographs, etc. and also in terms of the national Indians. So, as per S.C. Rai, so how can we divide the growth of anthropology in India? So, he has given some criteria. That criteria is based on the sources of publication. Based on the sources of publication. Already explained. So, how the growth of anthropology started? With the publication of monographs. Monographs means single aspects, they published books. So, based on the publication of monographs, based on the publication of the publications, source of publications, maybe magazines or that handbooks or magazines. So he like this we had divided. Otherwise, in terms of the national to others. So these magazines were published by Britishers or these magazines were published by Indians. Like this, one another classification we can give. So like this, he has given two types of criteria to understand the development of anthropology in India. Who has given this classification? S.C. Rai, Sarath Chandra Rai. He has divided the growth of anthropology can be divided into different types. So one is the criteria is based on the terms of the sources of the publication. So source of publication means whether they are the magazines, whether they are the handbooks, whether they are the monographs. Like this, we can suppose first they have developed that magazines, then handbooks. Like this, they are different classifications. So he has divided the period. Another classification was in terms of the nationality of the authors. In terms of the nationality of the authors, who were the authors? Britishers. Yes, this stage was purely confined to British authors. After that, Indian authors emerged. So this one phase 1, phase 2, like this, another classification. So there should be some criteria. If you want to see the development of anthropology, if you want to understand the development of anthropology, there should be some parameters, even for classification also. So like this, he has given two types of criteria, parameters. Who has given? S.C. Rai. Who has given? S.C. Rai. S.C. Rai means Sarath Chandra Rai. Then Dubey. He has divided the growth into three phases. One is compilation and publication of volumes on tribes and caste. Already explained. First, actually, anthropology, they did the research on tribes only. Then the caste people, we are the caste people, almost here are caste people, some tribal people maybe. So here Dubey compilation of publication various volume tribes and caste. So first this was the first stage, only compilation and collecting data and that year compiling the data and dog publication. Then detailed monograph study. After that, detailed monograph study printed. Individual tribes. So previously collectively, then individual tribes, Mundas, Yanadis, Chenchus, Boyas, Koyas, like this individual tribes are there. So slowly another stage started. That is the second stage as per S.V. Dubey. Then quantitative assessment and qualitative achievement started in the research. Qualitative and quantitative. So both terms. So one is quantitative and second one. So these are the third stage. Like this S.C. Dubey, he has divided the development of anthropology into three categories. Another fellow, N.K. Bose, he has not agreed with this classification. He has given his different classification. What is the classification? Anthropology in India in the following three phases. Encyclopedia tribes and caste. Have you visited S.V. University Library? Have you seen the tribes and caste of Thurston? No. Some volumes are there, gazettes published during the British colonial. So, encyclopedia tribes and caste, then description of monographs and analytical studies of village, marriage, family, caste, civilization. So, first, as per N.K. Bose, encyclopedia means the collective comprehensive information on tribes and caste started. After the second course of descriptive monographs, descriptive means everything in detail they have described. Third one stage, analytical study. Then they have conducted the studies on villages. They conducted the studies of marriages and family, caste, civilization. All these are the parts and parts of society. These are called as social institution. So like this, previously in the initial stages, encyclopedia tribes and caste, these were the information gathered. After that, descriptive, everything they have detailed, in detail started. Third stage, analytical, they have tried to analyze the various social organs, caste, marriage, kinship, everything. These are the social organs. So like this, N.K. Bose, he analyzed the development of anthropology in India. Then Majumdar is also famous anthropologist. He said that, no, these are the stages. One is formulative stages. Second one is constructive phase. Third one, critical phase. Like this, in the development of anthropology can be divided into three phases. Formulative phase, constructive phase and analytical phase. What is the first phase? Formulative. Formation means formation of and development, this is starting of anthropology. Then constructive stage. Last stage, analytical. They try to analyze the data they have been collected. So like this, you have divided the period also like this. Formulation stage means 1774 to 1911, 1774 to 1911, and constructive stage means 1912 to 1937, and critical phase means 1938 to present date. So we are in the critical phase as per Majumdar. Last classification I am going to discuss about Vidyarthi, LP Vidyarthi. You used to come across while you are preparing for the UPSC examination also, applied anthropology written by LP Vidyarthi. Of course, as we were the students, as we were the scholars, we used to read that book LP Vidyarthi at that time. Of course, nowadays also most of the people they study. Of course, there is no need to go through this book. I give the information also. LP Vidyarthi means applied anthropology means LP Vidyarthi. Most of the aspirants who are seriously preparing for the competitive examination, especially taken anthropology optional, they used to read this book. He is very familiar for you as the aspirants of UPSC. He is LP Vidyarthi. So as per LP Vidyarthi, the constructive period started around 1920. In 1920, the constructive period, the formation already started. Construction means they have to construct. So constructive period started in 1920 with the opening of the Department of Anthropology in Kolkata. Yeah, previously there was no department. Britishers, they came as with curiosity, they collected the data and they published it. And the local administrative Britishers, they with the enthusiasm, they helped those people and they have become converted as anthropologists. They employed some local people and they have been converted as Indian anthropologists who assisted the Britishers. Like this developed, but still the constructive period means you have to develop departments. Then only the students will come to the departments. Then only the research will goes on. So this is the constructive period. Yes, you are going to construct the department. You are going to construct the formulation already started with the time conducting of research. So as per LP Vidyarthi, the constructive period, the second period started with the opening of the Department of Anthropology in Calcutta during 1920. During 1920, in the examination, if you get a bit, Department of Anthropology where started first for the first time? Kolkata University. Where? Kolkata University. In which year? 1920. 1920. So in 1920, with the opening of the Department of Anthropology in Kolkata University, that was the beginning of anthropology as the department. So constructive period. And R. Chandra was he was the head. And starting of Indian Journal of Anthropology, not only opening of the department, there should be some journal confined to the subject, then only the subject will be developed. So as per LP Vidyarthi, there was the starting of Indian Journal of Anthropology, a special journal confined to, for the publication of the articles, the researches of anthropology, that was Indian Journal. Indian Journal, there are number of journals are there for anthropology, exclusively for anthropology research. We used to publish those data. So like this, so in 1921, the stage started, right? So as continuation development of anthropology, the beginning of formative period. So already as I explained, formative stage, constructive stage, third one, analytical stage. What are the stages? 3 stages. One is formative stage, second one is constructive stage, third one is analytical stage. First one is formative period or phase or stage. Second one is constructive stage, constructive period, constructive stage. Third one is analytical. Right. We are discussing about the beginning formative period. In 1774, Sir William Jones started Asiatic Society of Bengal and found a president to study. Here you can see William Jones. You can see this was the Asiatic Society. So Asiatic Society of Bengal, it was the first society to study nature and man in India. exclusive society to study not only nature and in man in India. So with the starting of that for founding of Asiatic Society of Bengal, so the Indian anthropology started. This was the starting point for the development of anthropology as per so many anthropologists' opinion. Okay, so 1774 was the landmark for the starting point for the development of anthropology in India. By whom? Sir William Jones. What started? What has been started? Asiatic Society of Bengal. Asiatic Society of Bengal. In general studies also, you may get this type of questions. General prelims also, you may get questions, general awareness questions. In 1774, by whom? Sir William Jones. What has been started? Asiatic Society of Bengal. He was the founder also. For what? To study nature and man in India. Sir William Jones started. Then what happened? Since then, the British administrator, as we discussed, administrative collectors at that time, administrators and the missionaries, Christian missionaries, then travelers and also anthropologists studied Indian tribes and published their accounts in the Journal of Asiatic Society of Bengal. And not only in Asiatic Society of Bengal, Indian Antiquary. So here you can see all this, almost all the magazines. Just you can see Indian Antiquary, Journal of Bihar and Orissa Research, then Man in India. So like this, you can see the image also. So the Journal of Bihar and Orissa, Man in India, the Asiatic Society, Indian Antiquary. These are different magazines are there, exclusive for anthropology, exclusive for research of anthropology, exclusive for the study of anthropology. Suppose as a research, if you conduct some research, yes, you have to publish the article, then other people will learn. Otherwise, how can you learn? You made a discovery, scientific discovery, you have studied some tribe, cultural aspect. You have excavated some site, archaeological excavation. So whatever it may be, they should be come to the notice of the other fellow anthropologists. Am I right? So for this, there should be some scientific journals. If you want to share the knowledge with your fellow members, with your fellow anthropologists, so that's why it was the starting point exclusively for the study of nature, exclusively for study of man in India. The Asiatic Society of Bengal started by Sir William Jones in 1774. It was the starting point. Almost all the people have to agree with this. It was the starting point for the development of anthropology in India. It was the starting point. Then accounts were also published in a series of district gazettes, handbooks and monograms. You know very well district gazettes. Even today also we can see. The government publications, at that time the colonial administration, British administration, the colonial administration, they used to release the official gazettes. So in these district gazettes, if you go into the library, if you see that Edgar Thurston, tribes of India, South Indian tribes, you can see that about the descriptions of Yanadis, Chenchus at the festivals at the time, British colonial administration, like this number of tribes have been explained. As the district collectors, as they are doing, they used to publish the gazettes. At that time also publish the gazettes. In that we can see the information about various tribes and the communities lived at that time and their lifestyles and their economy and their population and the disease they have been that attacked by various disease. Everything we can get the information. Yes, series of district gazettes and handbooks and monograms and tribes. Then what happened? Data were collected on the tribes during the census in 1931 and 1941. First time. Just you can see census also they have collected 1931 and 1932 about the tribal people systematically, scientifically. Nowadays you are going to cross an examination also, you will get examination in the mains. Catcher is going on. Yes, these people are responsible. Those people are anthropologists. Anthropologists alone, yes, these are the authority to give the scientific analysis, to give the scientific explanation. So 1931, 1941, anthropologists, they entered for the census of 1931, 1941. You can see the information about the tribes, scientific information, not the vague information. Systematically, they have conducted as they have the knowledge about the people. They have been trained, they have been studied. Yes, they have given the description in the census of 1931, 1941. Important contribution in this correction was made by scholarly British administrators such as Risley. Yes, in the examination you may get Risley's classification. I will explain in the another chapter. Risley's classification. Just he explained about the head forms also. So what are the various head forms? What are the nose? Everything is systematically conducted surveys. So in fact, he was British administrator, scholarly, like that, scholarly, yes, he is having the knowledge, but he was the British administrator. He was the British collector at that time, Risley. So like this, Risley, Dalton, Maley, Russell, Thurston. I explained about Thurston. If you go to SV University Library, you can see Thurston, description about that British Gazette, Indian tribes, South Indian tribes. Not now. After completion of examination, please go through that. Go to the library and see that book also. Very interesting book. You can get maximum information. So at that time, so Thurston and Crooks. So all these people, they were scholarly administrators. So that means having the academic sense. At the same time, they were the British administrators. So they have collected a number of books. This was also another turning point in the development of anthropology. Then Campbell, Latham, Risley also another classification. Published general books on Indian ethnology. Some missionaries also made important ethnographic and linguistic studies. So apart from this, British administrator, some missionaries we know very well, Christian missionaries are there. So they used to start some that time in educational institutions, they used to start some that time in health institutions. So apart from the servicing activity, so these missionaries, they made important ethnographic and linguistic studies. So among this way, you can see one book, Thodas. You know Thoda? The old students, you know Thoda. You know Ooty? Yes, we know Ooty, sir. We used to go to UT as a picnic spot during summer. Ooty is also called as, which is located in Tamil Nadu, as Udaga Mandalam, as Udaga in Tamil Nadu, Udaga. It is also called Nilgiri Hills, Blue Mountains. Nilgiri Hills, Udaga Mandalam, it is also called as Ooty. So, for the anthropologist, we are interested not to take photographs at that botanical garden or swimming pool. As the anthropologist, we are used to study about one tribe, that is Thodas. Say the name, Thoda. The tribe name is Thoda. Yes, Thodas. Some missionaries also importance. Thoda. I used to explain. Polyandry is there. Polyandry means a woman is having many husbands. They believed that they are the descendants of Panch Pandavas. You know Mahabharata. For all the Pandavas, there was only one wife, Panchali. Of course, I don't want to go into little ethics. Because they said that they are the descendants of Pandavas. The brothers of that tribe, they used to marry that woman, many husbands. So like this, number of interesting things we are going to discuss under marriage. So this was the monograph on Thodas. Monograph means on a single aspect they give the full information. That is called as monograph. So like this, these British administrators, they detailed, they have given about Vedas of Ceylon. Another interesting type. Nowadays it is Sri Lanka, Ceylon. So Ceylon also they have conducted Vedas, a very ancient tribe they have described. So like this, they have given different description in their monographs. Then, right, constructive period. So like this, the formative stage completed. Second stage is constructive period. What was the first stage? Formative stage. Second stage is constructive. So with the development of the departments of the university, automatically second stage started. So what was the first department? In 1919, social anthropology included in the curricula of Bombay University in sociology. There was no separate department at that time. There was no separate department. There was one department in Bombay University, that was sociology only. That was only sociology, not the department of anthropology, department of sociology. But as part of the curricula of sociology, anthropology has also been included. Has also been included, not as a separate department, but it was a milestone. It was also a milestone. As part of the curricula of sociology, in the department of the time Bombay University, anthropology also has been included in their curricula, part of the syllabus. Then 1921, as we discussed, a separate department of anthropology was started in Kolkata University, at that time Calcutta University, now it is Kolkata. So at that time, with the starting of separate department for exclusively for anthropology was started in Calcutta University in 1921. It was the milestone, real milestone for anthropology, for the development of anthropology. Then these centers started anthropology research, Calcutta University and also the Sociology Department of Bombay University. So these centers started researches to which important contributions were made by the following scholars and publications. So after the establishment of the Department of Anthropology in Kolkata University, after the starting of the separate curricula for the part of sociology in the Department of Bombay University, ultimately if the department started, research also will be started, as I discussed. So important contributions were made by the scholars, because what is the job of the scholar? They have to do research under the professors, and they in turn they teach the students like you. So ultimately their contributions, Radcliffe Brown, Hutton, S.C. Roy, Gurye, Chattopadhyay, M.N. Srinivas, D.N. Majumdar, Airavati Karve. So all these people, they contributed with their researches to the development of Indian anthropology. Take for example, M.N. Srinivas, he used to, why I have mentioned most of the people contributed, but I cannot explain in this class. So that's why, so even if I brief the information, you can see a lot of information is there. So his main contribution, M.N. Srinivas, as part of your UPSC syllabus, you used to come across so many terminology, Sanskritization, Westernization, like this. So the important questions. So these were the terminology contributed by our Indian anthropologist to the world of anthropology. He was M.N. Srinivas. He was M.N. Srinivas. Kurks of Mysore, he conducted research, for the first time he has given the word Sanskritization. Of course, there is separate chapter, I will explain. Then, so like this, first woman anthropologist, Airavati Karve, in the general studies also, you will come across the question, the GK question. Who is the first woman anthropologist? Who is? Airavati Karve. Airavati Karve. Airavati Karve was the first woman anthropologist in India. So like this, number of GK points also covered under UPSC syllabus in under anthropology. So like this, if you see, so like this number of monographs, Andaman Islanders, Sharachandra Rai, the Mundas and their country, the marriage and family. So like this, different monographs, different handbooks, different publications have been contributed by the so many anthropologists, Indian anthropologists. That was the constructive period. Why? Because happened with the establishment of separate departments in the universities, with the inclusion of anthropology as the curricula of sociology, and then starting of exclusive department for anthropology. Anthropology actually it didn't see back, and immediately it progressively continued with the research of all these people, all the contributions. Then constructive period, P.N. Mishra, L.K. Iyer, K.P. Chattopadhyay, T.C. Das, D.N. Majumdar. These people were East and North India notable contributions. If you see, already we have explained, G.S. Gurye, Airavati Karve, L.K. Anantakrishna Iyer, and A. Ayyappan, West India and South India. Of course, I give in detail for every anthropologist, I give you a notes, so that in the examination, one short notes we can expect 10 marks question, that is about anthropologist. So many aspirants, they neglect this question because they don't know about this syllabus. So naturally, anthropology is taught by so many people, non-anthropologists. That's why actually they don't know the significance of this anthropology and their contribution. They skip off. So as an anthropologist, original anthropologist, professional anthropologist. I know the contribution made by these people. I know the significance of the anthropology contributions. I give the notes also for each and every anthropologist, their important contribution. I will explain in detail. I give the handouts also. So easily you can score. Next. All these scholars stimulated anthropology research and publication of articles, monographs and books. So all these people contributed. Then in 1938, what happened? A joint session of the Indian Science Congress Association and British Association reviewed the progress of anthropology in India. That was a joint session. You know very well, joint session of Rajya Sabha, Lok Sabha. In the same way, here, for the review of the progress of anthropology in India. So what is going on in anthropology in India? So for the to review, British Association and also Indian Science Congress, also I.A.S, Indian Science Congress, National Congress. So Science Congress. So they conducted a joint session exclusively for the progress of anthropology in India. It was the first review of the anthropology research in India. You are doing a research. I myself doing research. He is also doing. She is also doing. There should be some coordination. We have to assess. So what type of research is going on? So what is needed for India? So everything should be assessed. So only after review only we can assess the things only, then we can formulate the future plans. So for that there should be some review, official review. Yes, it was the first review of the anthropology research in India. So in the examination you will get one question. First review was joint session of Indian Science Congress Association, joint session of Indian Science Congress Association and British Association, they jointly reviewed the anthropology research in India. It was the first review in India about the anthropological research in India. Then among the most notable contributors to anthropology during this period, the works of D.N. Majumdar, M.S. Srinivas and N.K. Bose may be noted. Already we have discussed. So why I am stressing these names repeatedly means this is the first class for this batch. While you go through the syllabus, repeatedly you come across the names of these notable persons. These contributions we cannot ignore. So while you are studying about the time in Sanskritization, you come across M.S. Srinivas like this. So to familiarize the names, repeatedly I know the limitations also as part of the UPSC contributions, UPSC coaching. Still I am giving the names. Why? Because you should be familiar. Even for the interview also you have to prepare now itself. That's why I repeatedly give the names. Right. Here in 1942 M.S. Srinivas published his work Marriage and Family in Mysore. M.S. Srinivas means Sanskritization. Sanskritization means M.S. Srinivas. He was the first coined the term Sanskritization. He was the first anthropologist, was the Indian anthropologist who coined the term Sanskritization. He has given the term for the entire world of anthropologists.
What does it mean?
Yes, I will explain in the anthropology. So that's why Sanskritization is a separate chapter in UPSC. So like this, if you want to familiar with all the terminology, first of all you should know the names of the famous anthropologists. That's why I would like to, even though it's a lengthy lesson, I tried my level best to give the brief information, but comprehensive information I am trying to give here. Then an important M.N. Bose, Hindu method of tribal absorption, published by Cultural Anthropology 1941. Yes, N.K. Bose. Then following noted important additions to anthropology literature. Warrior Elvin, he was advisor to our first Prime Minister. Who was the first Prime Minister? Yes. Under tribal India, there is a separate chapter. While we are going to discuss about that chapter, we discuss about Elvin, what were the contributions, what was his models. He has conducted research on Baiga, Agaria, Maria, then so many tribes. So Maria, murder and suicide, these are the various textbooks, various monographs he has given. Like then Heimendorf, so Warrior Elvin, he was advisor for our first Prime Minister Pandit Jawaharlal Nehru. Then Heimendorf, famous anthropologist, Ananta Krishna Iyer, then Hutton. So all these people were the famous Indian anthropologists who contributed a lot during the constructive period to the development of Indian anthropology. Then Briggs, Chamars, he has conducted research. Ananta Krishna Iyer, the Kahars of Mysore, Hutton, cast in India. So like this, they have published so many books. Then summing up, if you want to sum up all the things what you have discussed under constructive period, the development of anthropology during the constructive period, as per LP Vidyarthi, rightly marked, Indian anthropology which was born and brought up under the predominant influence of the British matured during the constructive phase on the lines of British anthropology. Actually, the anthropology brought to India by the British administrator, scholarly administrator, because they were the scholars, academicians having the academic values. At the same time, they were the administrators, collectors at that time. So, born and brought under the predominant influence of British. So, as we were under the colonial administration, as we were under the British rule, crown rule, so naturally we were under the influence of British anthropologists only. So, matured during the constructive phase on the lines of British anthropology. Suppose if I have some unique concept, definitely as I am a teacher, you learn the same thing. So, as we were at that time, we were under the influence of British administrator, naturally we have been influenced by the British administrator. So, this was the constructive period. So, there are different ideologies are there, different theories are there, we are going to discuss in detail other chapters also. So, this is also another important point. Then, during this period, except a few studies of Indian institutions like the caste, the tribal studies continued to be the exclusive field of study by the enlightened British scholars, administrators, missionaries, later by the British and Indian anthropologists till the end of the 40s of this century. Now, we are in 2025. Until 1940s, in 1947, we know we got independence. Until 1940s, the same concept which was introduced by the British scholarly administrator or the British anthropologist, it was continued. What was the focus? Tribal studies. The main focus was only tribal studies. Then, of course, everything changed now. So, tribal studies was the focus of anthropologists at that time. Why? Because those people, the British anthropologists, they were concentrated on tribals only for their administrative purpose, with the reasons of their enthusiastic reasons. So, they were very keen interest to publish, to conduct the study and the publication literature also on the tribals only. So, under their guidance, our Indian anthropologists also, even though we started the departments of anthropology, even though we have included anthropology as part of the other departments like sociology, our keen interest was, with the keen interest influenced by the British administrator, what was the keen interest? To conduct the studies of tribals. So, most of the books were tribal studies, continued exclusive field study. Now, the research means tribal study. Research means tribal studies. That was the field at the time. Then, on the lines of anthropology taught at that time at the University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, University of London, Indian anthropology was characterized by ethnological and monograph studies with a special emphasis on research in kinship and social organization. So, anthropology means during the time of constructive period up to 1940s. So, that was the concept to conduct the studies on tribal people. If it is the keen interest, specialized area is kinship. Kinship means the study of relations like that. So, it was the prime. So, University of Cambridge, University of Oxford, University of London. So, under these influence, our prime interest was only on tribal people and to study the social institutions like kinship, like this. So, it was a constructive period. Second stage. Then, last stage, analytical stage, started in 1950, still we are in analytical stage. Last phase. So, first stage was formative stage. Second stage was constructive stage. So, now where we are now? Analytical stage. When it started? 1950. In 1950, the analytical stage started. Here you can see rural studies and tribal studies. Rural studies and tribal studies. After Second World War, some eminent American anthropologists, including Maurice Opeler of Cornell University, in the same way, from University of Illinois, Oscar Lewis, and University of California, David Mantelbaum, and others came to India. So till now the British anthropologists came to India as they were the dominant personalities at that time because of the advantage of the colonial administration, because of advantage of their rule only. Britishers at that time, they ruled our country as we know. After Second World War, what happened? Even slowly American anthropologists, there are two schools are there, American school, British school. In English grammar also, color, C-O-L-O-U-R, color, that is the Britain English. C-O-L-O-R, color, that is American English. In the same way, even anthropology also, different schools are there, two schools prominently. One is influenced by Britishers, British anthropologists, another one was American anthropologist. So from these universities, in the previous session we had discussed about the British universities, here American universities, like this. American universities means here Cornell University, University of the Illinois, Universities of California. So from these universities, prominent Maurice Wopler, Oscar Lewis, David Mandelbaum. So these people were the American anthropologists. They came to India. They came to India and conducted many important studies, not only in tribal areas, in rural areas. That was in different approach. So previously, until then, during the up to constructive period, our main focus was only on tribal studies. That was anthropology at that time. With the advent of that American anthropologist to India, our focus changed entirely from tribal studies to rural studies. Tribal studies also still we are doing the research, but focus changed. So tribal studies to rural studies. So here you can say tribal studies, here rural studies. So what are the different patterns? What are the different societies? What are the different social customs? Everything changed. So with the advent of American anthropologists to India. Besides, important rural studies were made by M.N. Srinivas, Airavati Karve, S.C. Dubey and D.N. Majumdar among others. We know these people are Indian anthropologists. So with the advent of that American anthropologist, the research of the Indian anthropologist also, they turned into from tribal studies to rural studies during the starting of analytical period started in 1950. So the following contribution to the notable growth of anthropology in India during this period, we can discuss some. M.N. Srinivas, he has written some book, Religion and Society Among the Coors of South India. Religion and Society Among the Coors of South India. Coors. So already I explained one term, that is Sanskritization. What is the term? Sanskritization. In Telugu, Samskruti Karanamu. Of course, I explained in detail. There is no need to explain here, but just I would like to explain. What is meant by Sanskritization? Imitation of our upper caste. Imitation of our upper caste. So for the some people, they try to increase their social level by imitating the other people. It was the concept given by M.N. Srinivas while he was studying, while he was with the courts of Mysore. So to describe how I can describe to the other anthropologists in the world, there should be some terminology. So for the first time, while he was with the courts of Mysore, to describe a feature in the society, in the caste society, there are different castes are there, lower caste, upper caste, like that. The caste, the lower caste people always try to move to the upper rungs of the ladder. Upper rungs of the ladder. So there is some mobility. How they can mobile? How can they move? By imitating the upper caste people. Like that, with this observation, he explained one concept. That to explain that concept, there was a lack of terminology at that time in anthropology. So for the first time, he coined a term that was a Sanskritization. For the first time he used Brahminization, but there was a lot of the criticism. Then they changed the Brahminization to Sanskritization. Brahmanikaranam in Telugu, Brahmanization. Then he changed it, number of times he changed the terminology. Of course, it is natural also. Then he changed the term as Sanskritization, Samskritikaranam. The lower people in the caste ladder of any society, the lower ranks of the people, they try to move to the upper ranks of the caste. That is to describe that phenomena. One terminology introduced by our Indian anthropologist by M.N. Srinivas. The term was Sanskritization. So like this, number of contribution in the rural studies. Airavati Karve, I explained in detail, Dube, D.N. Manjudhar. So all these people, they contributed while studying different dynamics of rural areas of the society. Then important seminars were also conducted and published during this period. Numerous papers have been published by anthropologists in India. Numerous papers. You know very well, publication, there should be some publication. You are doing some research. How can I know? That is your paper, your contribution. I have to conduct the exam, I have to conduct some research. So there should be some correlation. To correlation, there should be some scientific journal. You have to publish your paper. Then we will discuss. If there are any flaws, we will rectify. So like this, there should be some parameters and criteria. So these are called as publication of papers. So during this analytical period, numerous papers, innumerable papers published, because we have journals now, scientific journals, not a single journal, not a single publication. If you conduct the research, just you can publish any of the magazine you like and related to you. So for exclusively for man, nowadays number of magazines, number of publications, number of printers are there, exclusively to study human alone, man alone. That is the analytical stage. So numerous publications have been published by Anthropology in India concerning change leading to investigation, vanishing tribal identity, culture and planning. Yes, change, it leads to integration. Everything changes. It leads to integration. Previously, at the outskirts of villages only, some people used to live. Nowadays, you know very well. Everything changes. It is welcome change. Yes, change leads to integration. Yes, integration. And vanishing tribal identity. Exclusively tribal people, they lived in some confined to some areas. Nowadays, not now. We have reservations, everything. With the social awareness, with the development plans, everything we discuss. Yes, tribal identity, culture and plan, and also emergence of industrial anthropology. One separate branch originated. Now you can understand anthropology. What is anthropology? Every time, number of various branches have been included. If they studied about anthropology, it is anthropology. Exclusively, if they studied about the industrial impact, it is called as industrial anthropology. There is no need to fear now. By this session, you have an idea about anthropology. What is meant by anthropology? Exclusively, if they study about the humans and also the relation with the industries, it is called as industrial anthropology. What are the industries? What are the impact of industries on the living styles, lifestyles of people living in and around societies? Not only living in and around societies, yes, because you are working in an industry. Suppose take for example in Hyderabad, you are working in Hyderabad. What about your family? Previously you were with your family in a joint family. Could you bring your parents? Even if you are ready to bring your parents, they won't come because they can't leave their lands. Their lands are there, their culture is there, their affinities are there, their roots are there. They are not willing to come. Yes, it is giving impact. These are the expected questions we are going to come in UPSC. So to understand all these things, you should be aware of the anthropology in detail. That's why I am giving this information. Yes, emergence of industrial anthropology, one separate branch is there. What is the impact of industries? Then increased emphasis on tribal demography. What are the demography? Yes, for every tribal community or caste community, even caste community also, for different caste or different demographies, data is available. That's why in the previous sessions you have seen, you might have seen, I think, briefly I have released some promos also, that with the Indo-Pak conflicts, there is the significance of anthropologists, that is applied anthropology, defense anthropology, even for the war also we are contributing, that is defense anthropology. For the development of the nutrition, health also, nutrition anthropology. For sports anthropology, like the different branches of sub-branches originated. So one among them is I mean industrial anthropology and tribal demography, integrates tribal regions like this. Anthropology in India in various subfields it has been developing. Important contribution has been made to action research. What is the purpose of any subject? Just to mere reading or to mere appear in the examination? No. It should be implemented. There should be some practical implication. Otherwise, what is the need? That's why I use it to criticize. Of course, I should not criticize, as why I was the principal of that intermediate degree college. Test tube, burette, pipette, screw gauge, spirometer, everything which I studied. What is the use? In a daily life, we are not using. So there should be, it should be useful to the society where you are living. That is called as application. For any sense, I am not criticizing. For any sense, there is an application. So one thing is just to mere reading of the books in the classroom and teaching. Otherwise, any subject, physics or chemistry or botany or zoology, whatever the subject will be, there are some uses. They should be useful to the development welfare of society. In the same way, anthropology also, it is the only subject that is confined to human alone. So it should be applicable to the development and welfare of society. That is called as LP Vidyarthi, applied anthropology. Yes, then action anthropology, action number not applied anthropology. You have to come into the action. This is called as anthropology, action research, and here you can do action research cycle. So reflect, plan, and plan should be implemented, act and you have to observe, and it should be reflected like this. I will explain. So this is called as action research and socio-psychological research. So we have to interact with people. You are a software employee. Of course, you are earning a lot, no doubt at all. But still you are facing problems. What are the problems you are facing? So social problems, what are the psychological problems? What are the societal problems? Everything we discuss about under socio-psychological research. It is no part of our research, anthropology research. Then folklore researches. Folklore. So what are the myths? What are the legends? What are the fables? What are the fake tales? What their influence on the public, on the people? Yes, we have to go in detail. This is about the folklore researches. Studies of power structures. Yes, power politics are going on now. If you have your power, definitely that community will be developed. So everybody needs the power. So what are the power dynamics? So you have to study leadership and anthropology of religion. Religion also plays a vital role, you know very well. There is no need to explain. So everything is the case studies, and with the examples we can explain. So these are the areas of anthropology nowadays. So you can understand what is meant by anthropology by this lesson. So to conclude, the words of LP Vidyarthi, why I am used to LP Vidyarthi? Because as a aspirants of UPSC, you are familiar with the name of LP Vidyarthi. In the market, the books are available. Of course, there is no need for the students of Dr.Gindi I.A.S. Academy. I am giving exclusive notes, exclusive recorded lessons for all my students, whether they are in online coaching or offline coaching. But anyway, so as per the words of LP Vidyarthi, the journey of Indian anthropology still continues. Still it is going on. What is the stage? As per the development of anthropology, what is the stage? How many stages are there? 3 stages. What was the first stage? Formative stage. What was the second stage? Construct stage. What is the third stage? Analytical stage. So we are in the analytical stage, which was started in 1950. It is still going on. Still going on. The research is going on. Tomorrow we don't know what will happen. So still the research is going on different areas. It has gone much ahead under the influence of and in collaboration with the British and American anthropologists. Previously, the influence was under the British anthropologists. We were forced to do research. After that, with the advent of American anthropologists, so we have been influenced. So our influence was by the British anthropologists and by the American anthropologists. So Indian anthropologists. So under the influence of and collaboration with the British and American anthropology, it has gone. Then, of course, in a broader perspective, they will continue to influence the Indian social science for some more time. Science knows no barrier, and the science collaborate and learn in the fields of theory and methods of social research from the other scientifically advanced countries of the world. Yes, other scientific advanced countries of the world, not only America and England. in different countries are there in the world. From all the scientifically advanced countries, we are learning what are the methods, what are the techniques, what are the theories. So all these are theories and methods of social research. So we are learning and we are collaborating with these scientifically advanced countries of the world. So previously Indian anthropology, though it was influenced by British anthropologists for some time, and after that by American anthropologists for some time, nowadays with the advent of advancement of scientific research in almost all the countries in the world, we are learning a lot. We are collaborating with more number of countries, more number of anthropologists, more number of people. That's why anthropology still goes on for the development and welfare of society. That is the main goal of research. Okay, anyway, thank you all.